Breaking news! Insane plan revealed by the NIO stock team. Breaking news! The NIO stock team has unveiled a fantastic plan. NIO stock explained. You'll need to investigate the makeup of NIO share registry if you're interested in discovering the true owners of the company. Insiders frequently own a significant portion of younger and smaller companies, whereas institutions are more likely to be shareholders in larger corporations. In most situations, I favor seeing some degree of insider ownership, even if it's only a small amount. As Nassim Nicholas Taleb said, "Do not tell me what you believe, rather tell me what you have to offer in the way of your portfolio." We are going to spend the rest of the day discussing everything that the NIO team has revealed about who controls NIO and who the stakeholders are. So hey investors, welcome back to Stock Market News. In today's video, we'll have an amazing announcement for you, so make sure you stay tuned. Given that NIO has a market capitalization of $33 billion, it's impossible for the company to remain unnoticed. We anticipate seeing a mix of institutional and individual investors as owners of a portion of the business. When we take a look at the data we have on the ownership groups, we can see that institutions are fairly well represented on the share registry. Let's take a more in-depth look at the various types of shareholders to see what information they can provide about NIO for us. What does it tell us about NIO if we look at institutional ownership? Is it common practice for institutional investors to evaluate their own performance in comparison to the performance of a widely followed index? Therefore, in most cases, they do give some thought to purchasing larger companies that are members of the applicable benchmark index. It's clear to see that NIO has institutional investors, and these investors hold a sizable amount of the company's stock. This indicates that some credibility exists among established financial investors. However, we cannot rely solely on that fact because, just like regular people, institutions are capable of making poor investments on occasion. There is always the possibility that multiple institutions are in collusion when they own the same stock, a busy marketplace. In the event that such a trade's executed incorrectly, multiple parties may compete with one another to quickly sell stock, and this risk is elevated in a company that does not have a track record of significant expansion. You can review the past earnings and revenue of NIO in the following table, but keep in mind that there is almost always more to the story. There are not many shares of NIO held by hedge funds. William Lee, the CEO of the company, is the largest shareholder with a stake of 10%. To put this into perspective, the second largest shareholder owns approximately 8.2% of the total shares in circulation, and the third largest shareholder owns 5.4% of the total shares in the company. An in-depth analysis of our ownership information reveals that the top 25 shareholders collectively own less than half of the company's shares. This indicates that the majority of the company's shares are held by a large group of small holders, with no single shareholder holding a majority. While researching the institutional ownership of a company can add value to your investigation, it also is a good idea to investigate analyst recommendations in order to acquire a more in-depth comprehension of the anticipated performance of a stock. Because there are a significant number of analysts covering the stock, it may be beneficial to gain an understanding of the consensus view they have regarding the future. Ownership of NIO by its employees, in spite of the fact that a precise definition of an insider can be open to interpretation, virtually everyone agrees that board members qualify as insiders. The business is managed by company management, but the board of directors is ultimately in charge, even if the CEO is also a member of the board. Insider ownership is generally regarded as a positive aspect of a company because it can be an indication that the board is well aligned with other shareholders. Despite this, there are times when an excessive amount of power is held within the group. And according to information we have, company insiders appear to keep significant holdings in NIO Inc. It is very interesting to note that those working within the company have a meaningful stake worth $3.3 billion and this business worth $33 billion. When considering a company of this size, the majority of people would agree that this demonstrates a satisfactory level of alignment with shareholders. Ownership by the general public. The general public, which is made up of individual investors for the most part, holds a stake of 48% in NIO, which gives them some influence over the company. Although this level of ownership is substantial, it may not be enough to affect a change in company policy if the decision's not in line with that of other major shareholders. Ownership of public corporations. According to our research, public companies appear to own 8.2% of NIO. Although we're unable to say for certain, there's a good chance that this is a strategic stake. It's possible that the two companies are comparable or even collaborate. NIO stock's currently trading 3% lower at $20.27 an hour into Friday's trading session, according to the current NIO price. If the current price of NIO stock holds, then tomorrow will be the first day that the stock has fallen since NIO began a streak of 7 consecutive days of gains last Wednesday. The leader of the pack. Tesla is currently trading at $902, down 2.5%. The unemployment rate in the United States is now at 3.5%, thanks to the Bureau of Labor Statistics announcing that the country added 528,000 jobs in the month of July. A tighter labor market should lead to higher inflation, or at the very least, inflation lasting longer, which caused the market to tank when the news was released at the beginning of the trading session. As a result of this, the Federal Reserve may be compelled to reconsider its recent dovish statements and instead propose yet another significant increase in the federal funds rate. A path of higher interest rates that are expected to be steeper should result in an even stronger dollar and a reduction in the long-term value of low-profit growth stocks that are dependent on debt markets. On Thursday, the Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer NIO stock on the New York Stock Exchange continued its recent winning streak, climbing higher for the 7th day in a row. NIO stock finished the day's trading at $20.90, up an additional 2.96% from its previous price. As investors awaited the crucial employment report for the month of July, the stock market experienced a pullback on Wednesday after a broader market rally. The performance of the three major indices for the session was mixed, with the Dow Jones falling 85 basis points, the S&P 500 falling 0.08%, and the Nasdaq rising 0.41%. Overall, the major indices had a negative net return. The excitement surrounding NIO stock is most likely attributable to the fact that the company has been featured in a number of recent positive news stories. Not only has NIO improved upon its delivery numbers for the month of July in comparison to the previous year, but the company also opened a number of new technology and innovation facilities. Now, NIO has confirmed that it is in the process of launching a mass-market electric vehicle line that will have a price tag of somewhere in the neighborhood of $15,000 per vehicle. And in all honesty, this is NIO's third generation of automobiles, and for time being, the sub-brand will be referred to as Project Firefly. It's not clear whether this product line will only be available in China or whether it'll be included in NIO's plans to expand internationally. Recently, BYD, a Chinese electric vehicle leader, released additional news. The manufacturer recently achieved a record-breaking number of monthly EV deliveries in China. In preparation for its entry into the Australian market, BYD has expanded its operations in Sydney with the opening of a new presentation and sales center. BYD reported that more than 22,000 units of the Atto 3 were shipped to Australia and New Zealand in the month of July alone. This model has proven to be quite popular in both of those countries. And that's going to bring us to the end of today's video. Please feel free to let us know what you thought about it. And if you like this video, then please leave us a like and make sure you share it with all your friends and family and fellow stock fans that are in your inner circle. Don't forget you can subscribe to our channel to get more amazing content. Make sure you stay plugged into our YouTube channel, and don't forget to press that bell icon on your way out the door. That way you will always be notified of our latest updates and uploads to our channel. We sincerely appreciate you spending time of your busy day to hang out with us today, and we'll look forward to catching up with you in our next video. Hey, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.